Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
All right, so every single season, all right, season ends, and Miami Heat fans, we sit around and we look at all the superstars that are available. Who lost in the first round, second or third round? Who's the missing piece to our franchise? How many superstars are we going to get next year? All right, we fantasy book our team, and then months later, we don't get any of them, and we say, you know what? We still got enough. When we lie to ourselves, we put ourselves through all that planning and, you know, the fantasy team that we're going to have, the stacked roster we're going to get. We get nobody, and then we tell ourselves we're going to be okay. Happens every year, all right? Right now, we're at the part where we get to fantasy book the roster for next season, all right? Looking at the roster right now, the only name that I see, or two names that I see that could possibly still be there, Bam Adebayo, all right, and Davion Mitchell. Just those two, all right? Those are two people I still see being there. If you want one superstar, you're automatically going to have to give up. You're going to have to give up Andrew Wiggins. There's really no way you keep Andrew Wiggins on this team and you're able to trade for another superstar. Terry Rozier, it was set in stone that he was getting traded about 3 or 4 months ago. Very close to the start of the season, we knew that he was getting traded. Nikola Jovic, he's got some value, but you got to put him, in there because he's a young player still. And you know what? Every team needs young assets if you're going to get an aging superstar, but still a superstar nonetheless. Duncan Robinson, because the money. You got to trade him for the money. Khalil Ware, he's on the fence because he has a lot of potential, but he's still a young player. So you don't know if you want to keep him or trade him. And also depends on who you're going to get. We're going to talk about our options in just a minute. Jaime Jaquez, his fall off has to be studied. All right. Crazy fall off from year 1 to year 2. We thought he was going to be, mini Jimmy, right? The next guy in that lineup is going to be able to put a ball in his hands, see him go to work. Maybe he makes that jump in year 3 if we keep him, but we got to see how this summer pans out. Kyle Anderson, he's probably going to end up on the move. Burks, probably going to end up on the move. Larson, it depends. Same thing with Ware. Potential trade asset. We don't know which one yet. But yeah, that's the way the roster is shaking out right now. Everybody's on the trade block. Bam Adebayo, you can stay. Davion Mitchell, got to have you back because the way you played in the playoffs and down the stretch in the season, you are the personification of Heat culture. That does not mean we win every game. Doesn't mean we win every championship. Simply means the way we go about business every single day does not change. Even when we were down by 50, he was still playing like he had a chance to win the game. Down by 40, 30, 20, didn't matter to him. He was going to play the game the exact same way, high intensity, high pressure on the ball, make winning plays. That's Heat culture. Now, we got to talk about our options. We get to talk about all the superstars we're going to get, all the moves we're going to make, giving Pat Riley one more chance or he's got to retire. Spo, give you a better option, better team than you had before, give you another chance to go chase a championship and prove that you're one of the greatest coaches of all time. Absolutely one of the best coaches in the game today. Your resume proves that you're one of the legendary coaches. And I think if you had another roster, you can get us another chip. Let's talk about Exhibit A. All right. This is plan A. This is the low-hanging fruit, if you will. This is the option that is going to present itself right away. We're going to talk about Trae Young. All right, let's look at his contract. Cap hit $43 million next year. Career earnings $146. I mean, how does he fit, first of all, with the team? All right, 20 plus and 10 every single season. Yeah, high turnovers, but I'm thinking in the type of offense that Spoelstra runs, it's going to be perfect for him to lower that turnover number. He's going to probably have, a similar turnover ratio to, I don't want to go, too crazy, but in Miami, in that offense with a number of guys that handle the basketball, it's going to look closer to Tyrese Halliburton's turnover ratio. He's going to take some pressure off of Tyler Hero, having to have the ball in his hands. He's going to make Bam's job easier. Bam's going to get maybe, I want to say around 6 to 10 easier baskets. Bam he averages around maybe 16, 17, 18 points a game. Okay, that's just most of it is him initiating offense for himself. He's going to get 6 to 10 points from Trae Young alone. I expect his points per game to go up to probably about 22 points a night, something like that, right? The problem I have with Trae Young being there is this number right here. That says $48 million in 2 seasons. Next season, he's supposed to make around 46. I mean, can you afford to keep Tyler, Bam, and Trae Young and build enough defense around that core? Because Bam is the only one that plays defense out of the 3 of those players. All right, you need at least 2 guys out of the 3 to be both sides of the ball that can get it. You know, you can stop somebody from getting 30. You can get 30 yourself, and that's going to be somebody, you know, you can put the ball in their hands. You can put them on the ball late in games. If I'm going against the Miami Heat with that big 3, I have my pick of the litter because nobody's going to be able to stop me. And Bam away from the basket is going to cause problems because you get a big man. He has to step over, help out, right, on somebody driving the lane. It's just a drop off in the dunk for game or something like that, right? See it happen too many times. Even with Bam on the ball, you know, guards has the advantage. But yeah, I don't know how I like those 3 together, which leads me to my next point is you probably would have to put Tyler Hero in any deal. I think we can get Trae Young, but to add another superstar, you got to put Tyler in the deal. $51 million cap hit this season for one Kevin Durant. Fantasy booking the roster. I don't know how else I can put it. You're not going to be able to get Kevin Durant and Trae Young and keep Tyler and keep Bam. You got to trade one of them. All right, you got to get rid of one of them. And this type of move is going to cost you half your roster. Trae Young, KD, and Bam Adebayo. You have to give up your entire roster basically to get 2 or 3 of these guys, let alone keep all 3, right? Thing about Kevin Durant is it doesn't matter what team he's on. It doesn't matter what systems he's in. Kevin Durant is the most lethal weapon in NBA history. The man, 7 feet tall, 50, 40, 90 threat. He's going to give you 27 to 30 every single year. And guess what? He's an improved defender. You can trust him on the basketball. You can trust him late game situations. He's top 10 all time in putting the ball in the basket. That's going to increase your win percentage immensely, especially if you're Eric Spoelstra and you have another guy that you can go to. We've seen his success with D-Wade. We've seen his success with LeBron. We've seen his success with both of those guys, and then Jimmy Butler. And then you take Tyler Hero off of the bench, put him in the starting lineup, and he's been averaging 20 points per game for the past 4 seasons. We've seen Spo have success when he has that type of player that knows late game situations or any point in the game and you need a basket, you can go to somebody. Kevin Durant would thrive. Now, if you can't get Kevin Durant and you want to keep Bam Adebayo, immediately you have an improved roster, an improved chance of winning the championship if you have this dude, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now, this remains to be seen, okay, because they lost to the Indiana Pacers in 5 games. Damian Lillard goes down with an Achilles tear, my favorite player. Get well soon. Does he force his way out? And what does that look like? Because everybody's talking about, you know, why would Giannis leave his franchise after, you know, so many years with the team? First of all, he paid his debt. He got you a championship. He owes them nothing else. If he wanted to leave, he could. Force his way out, he could. But he's only going to force his way out to go to a team he feels he can win a championship with, a team that he feels can build around him, organization he respects, players that he also respects. That fits the bill of the Miami Heat, all right? He respects Bam. They've trained together in the offseason before. They work out together in the offseason before. They have a decent relationship. He has an immense amount of respect for Spoelstra and the Miami Heat organization, loves the way they go about doing business. Makes $48 million. So again, you are going to have to give up majority of your roster to make this possible. The reason why I like the Giannis, Bam Adebayo, Trae Young pairing more, right? Defensively, you have 2 defensive stoppers, okay? Or should I say this? Defensive player of the year caliber players in Bam Adebayo and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is going to get you 30 and 12. Bam, pair him up with Trae Young, is going to get you 20 and 8, 20 and 10. every single night. And Trae Young himself is going to also give you 20 and 10 every single night. So you got 3 players giving you a double-double in production. Double in production. All 3 of them can facilitate. All of them can put the ball in the basket at given times, but Giannis is going to be more dominant in that fashion, and Trae Young is going to be able to feed everybody and spread the ball around. The only thing you really need is defense around those guys and shooters, and you have a championship roster. If I'm the Miami Heat, this is my goal. I need to see if Trae Young and Giannis is going to force their way out. I need to make sure that I have the assets, first of all, which, like I said, you got Tyler Hero, you got Andrew Wiggins, you got, Terry Rozier. So that is, Tyler's going to be making around 35, Wiggins 30, Rozier another 20, Duncan another 15, 16. That's about $100 million right there between those 4 players to be able to move their assets off of the roster and make room for Trae Young and Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially. And then you still got young assets in Jovic, still got Ware, still got Jaquez. You got all these other young players, and then you got draft picks. There's a possibility. Okay, now I'm being irrational, but I'm making a lot of sense. I don't think we can get Kevin Durant, because also you got to factor in this too. The assets that Matt Ishbia, owner of the Phoenix Suns, would want in return for Kevin Durant, that's up here. That is way up here. If you get to a situation where Milwaukee, and let's talk about the amount of respect they have for him, they would honor his request if you say, okay, we need a certain, level of assets in return. I think Milwaukee will be more accommodating, and the Atlanta Hawks haven't always done business great, so they would probably be just as accommodating in making sure Trae Young got his wishes and getting out of Atlanta. And you know what? Quite possibly, could we see another situation like we saw with Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks? Would they be willing to just straight up take Tyler Hero in the draft pick? Who knows? Could it work? Yes, I think so. Tyler Hero, he'll be able to have his own team. Is he going to have a lot of success? We don't know. Probably miss the playoffs, probably be a playing team, especially with the roster that they have currently constructed. But looking at the Miami Heat, you say Trae Young, Giannis, Bam, and you give me Davion Mitchell, Highsmith, give me another shooter or 2. I say 2 shooters. You get a big off the bench with Kelly Ware. This is a championship caliber team, especially under Spoelstra. And you know what? What I want to see happen in Miami is you get another defensive-minded assistant coach, somebody, maybe a disgruntled coach that's been fired from his job unceremoniously, somebody like Mike Malone, who actually fits the personality of Heat culture. Miami Heat could be a dangerous team next year, but don't take my word for it, because I'm as biased as they come. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments, will Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kevin Durant, or Trae Young, or all 3 of those individual players push their way out of their organizations this coming summer? That's one more for the good guys.